All right, this is Hams on the patio, and we are simplifying fractions. So don't worry about it. I'll show you how to do it. When we're simplifying fractions, we want to reduce the fraction to its lowest terms. And we do that simply by taking the greatest common factor of the numerator and the denominator and dividing each of them by this greatest common factor. And so let's look at a few examples here and see how we would do this on the ones that we have here on our screen. So let's start with this first one. It says write each fraction in its lowest terms. And so we have 4/16. So since we have 4 over 16, then we'll look for the greatest common factor. What we're doing is looking for the largest number that will divide into both the numerator and the denominator. And I like to start with the smallest one, either the smallest number that's in the numerator. If that is a factor of the number that's in the denominator, then we'll use that as the greatest common factors like we see here. So 4 divides into 16 four times. And so then that's our GCF. 4 goes into 4 one time, and 4 divides into 16 four times. And there you have it. Simply 4/16 reduces down to 1/4. Let's look at this one. 6 over 42. So 6 a factor of 42? Will 6 divide into 42? Yes, it will. So that is our greatest common factor. So 6 divides into 6 one time, and 6 divides into 42 seven times. All right, let's move down to the next example where we have 3/18. And so again, we'll look to the numerator and see if that is a factor of the denominator. And 3 is a factor of 18. 3 divides into 18 six times. And so therefore, 3 divides into 3 one time, and 3 divides into 18 six times. And so therefore, this fraction reduces to 1/6. And then finally over here, we have 7/56. So 7 over 56, again, look to the numerator. Is that a factor of the denominator? And yes, it is. So 7 divides into 7 one time, and 7 divides into 56 eight times. On the next problem, 33 over 88, sometimes we'll find that the numerator is not a factor of the denominator. And so we need to find the greatest common factor of both the numerator and the denominator. We're looking for the largest number that will divide into both the numerator and denominator. What I usually do is start with the smaller number, which is the numerator in this case, since these are fractions, and we'll work the factors of 33. 33 doesn't have that many factors. It only has 1, 11, and 3. And so the largest factor is 3 that will divide into 33. I mean, the largest factor is 11 that would divide into 33. Well, 11 would also divide into 88. And so that is our GCF. So I'll write that here. GCF is 11. So 11 divides into 33 three times, and it divides into 88 eight times. And so we have 3/8 for our fraction here in its lowest terms. And so we'll do the same thing on this fraction. We have 18 over 48. We'll look for the largest number that will divide into both 18 and 48. And that would be 6. 18, the factors of 18 are 6, 3, 2, and 1. And so since 6 is the largest factor that would divide into 18, it would also divide into 48. And so therefore, 6 divides into 18 three times, and then it divides into 48 eight times. All right, two more here, a few more examples here. 15 over 45. And so now we'll look again, and in this case, 15 will divide into 45 three times. So that is our GCF. So 15 divides into 15 one time, and then 15 divides into 45 three times. So 1/3 with this fraction reduced to its lowest terms. Sometimes the numbers may seem large like we have here. We have 60 over 144. And so we'll work the factors of 60. And since 60 does not divide into 144, we'll look at those factors of 60. Starting with the largest, which is 60, doesn't go into 144. Then we have 30, and then we have 20, and then we have 15, and none of those will divide into 144. And then we get down to 12, and then 12 would divide into 144 also. So you see those larger factors, 30, 20, and 15, would not divide into 144. And so those are not GCFs because they have to divide into both the numerator and the denominator. But 12 will, and 12 will divide into 65 times, and 12 will divide into 144 12 times. All right, next we have 70 over 110. Now, one thing, when you have zeros that end like this, 10 would be a good place to start. Sometimes it won't be the largest, greatest common factor, but in this case, 70, the factors of 70, 10 and 7 and 14, 14 with 15. And so, but 14 won't divide into 110. 14 with 5 won't divide into 110. So 10 is the greatest common factor here. And so 10 divides into 70 7 times and divides into 110 11 times. And so we have 7 11s. And then finally, we have 26 over 65. Sometimes they may seem odd, but again, just work the factors of the number, the numerator, and that only has a couple of factors, 13 and 2. And 13 is a factor. 13 does divide into 65 5 times. So the GCF here would be 13. So 13 divides into 26 2 times, and 13 divides into 65 5 times. So we have 2/5 for a fraction in its lowest terms here. And that's all there is to simplifying fractions. And so I don't know how they teach you, but that's how I do it. Thank you for watching, and I wish you much success.